Welcome to Bitstorm, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Ben Slinger, and with me, again, as always, is Trevor Scott.
Hello.
Or Mr. Bean, apparently.
Hey!
Could have been Kermit the Frog, a little bit of Fozzie Bear in there. I don't know. Some Frank Oz-ish character. Anyway, so welcome to the podcast. Are we doing anything special this week, Trevor?
Probably not.
Probably not. Just
Probably
a
not.
a standard one. Fire it straight
unless
off.
Unless you want to go ramped up.
Fuck it. Let's do it.
Cool.
We are going to play Ramped Up Click Pitch. Trevor, do you want to explain to our listening audience what that means?
Both Ben and I have a two-word phrase in front of us. One adjective, one noun. We click refresh, we get those two words, we throw them against the other two words to make a four-word click pitch, hence it's being ramped up. And then when it doesn't work, we throw all the words away and we click again and get another four words.
Yeah. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, click. Creakiest prognosis.
Parked illiterate.
Okay. Okay, so someone was unable to read a street sign. So some sort of parking, some sort of game where you have to park street signs of some sort, and then like something happened in the doctor's prognosis, like it was a very old, creaky doctor, maybe.
So I'm sort of seeing this as like maybe a really, really popular doctor's office.
Okay.
And people wanted to get in to get their like prognoses because the doctor, you can see that he's on his last legs. And basically...
Oh, okay. It's
so
like some superstar doctor and he's going to die.
He's going to die.
Everyone's like, you need to diagnose me.
And so it's all about you being either valets or something like that at the front of this guy's...
Okay, so what we have here is House MD 2049. And he's gone into private practice.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so you play the valets. So is part of the challenge going to be that all of these people coming just have like weird medical things going on? And so like are you then having to diagnose them somehow? Like, oh, look, here comes another Wibbly watcher because they're fucking swerving all over the road. Is it something to do with like...
Now I really want this... game to no longer be about the valets and actually to be... Well, maybe you start out as valets and then it turns out that you're actually, you know, his new interns that he works with being house. And he just, right, you know, sent you out there just to
yeah,
you know, so as punishment.
We lean, pun not intended, on the house MD thing.
Yep.
Okay, and then well, I mean, the illiterate parking. I mean, he could just yell at someone about parking badly and call them illiterate because he's an asshole.
Oh yeah, or right, you know, he end of the first act where you've just parked all these cars. He basically says, You guys absolutely suck. Get back in here and help me solve some of these cases. And
okay, so you haven't even been through medical school, and there's nothing like you've proved yourself by somehow diagnosing someone via their driving skills.
Well, it turns out that you're always, you know, one of the interns. It's just that...
oh, he's just had you parking cars.
He's just had you parking.
So it's not even the first act. It's the prologue, basically. You think it's like a valet parking game, and then it turns into a House MD, like visual novel?
Visual novel with, like, some crazy, like...
Do we have, like, medical mini-games?
Yeah, medical mini-games. There was actually a House... like mobile game, I think it was, and it kind of.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they farmed that out to one of those companies that does those games.
Yep. So I'm kind of thinking it's almost like a it's a Jackbox mini game sort of thing where you're trying to.
Okay.
You got like four interns that are trying to solve this thing, and then House comes in and grades you on how bad you do.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I like the idea of a somewhat narrative. I mean, I guess we don't have to have the narrative in there, but I do like the idea of a narrative-based asymmetric phone game. And I mean, it's been done. The what was the one that the Until Dawn folks did?
I don't remember.
We played it.
Yeah,
was
I
there,
know.
wasn't it? Anyway, there was that. But yeah, like more of a short play sort of thing, where you're all the interns, and
I'm thinking of it almost like a Mario Party sort of thing.
Yeah, you're competing against each other. Yeah, it could be fairly lighthearted, but I do like the idea of there almost being a bit of a narrative through line with House.
Yeah, and it's just different
a number of cases
and different mini games that you're sort of doing. So, you got the blood mini game where you're all of you trying to fight over who can diagnose the blood disease and that sort of stuff.
You're having to like zoom in as if your phone is like your microscope to like find certain attributes about the blood cells or something, match them up with something.
You could have like an AR sort of game in where you're looking throughout the whole house looking for a certain like barcode sort of thing.
Oh my god, we bring AR stuff into it. Well, I like the idea that you do AR with the other people who are playing, and so you can like doctor a photo of one of the other interns to give them what looks like a disease and send it to House to get in his favor. Because he thinks the other intern's sick or he thinks that's a fucking hilarious prank.
So, if you've seen the show, like one of the things that he always does is sends out the team to like break into their house and actually have a look at the things in their freezer and all this sort of stuff. So it's all about, ticking off a few different barcodes and depending on how many barcodes you actually find.
Wait, are you saying you have to go around your own house and scan barcodes?
Yeah.
This is like a full on like AR environmental thing.
It doesn't actually matter what the things are.
No, but you just have to have a number of different barcodes.
So
and you could but the game does look up to see what that is. And House will go, yes, the Coke Zero can had these sort of mold particles on it.
Meat pie shapes.
Yeah.
Not very nutritious in value.
Just pulls up a Google image search of it and puts it on your screen.
I just reckon funny. That could actually be kind of fun, just...
No, I like that idea a lot.
Marks off the most items in like 30 seconds or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, because you can do like they can't do repeats because you can track that easily enough. So you can literally have these 30 seconds. I feel like this is the spiritual successor to one of those VHS board games.
Yeah.
Where you've just got House MD on your fucking screen and he's like, okay, go and find me as many barcodes as you can in 30 seconds and go. And he's just like standing there, like hanging out. 20 seconds left.
He's just popping Vicodin and throwing the ball against the wall.
Yeah. Exactly. 5 seconds, interns. Time's up. All right. What do we got here? Oh, I fucking love that. I do still like the idea of like some narrative stuff, also like character development sort of stuff. So I think as you go along, your different interns, maybe based on how you do, maybe some level of random stuff. It's sort of somewhat procedural. Like one of the interns there'll be a romance brewing with House. One of them, like he's the one, like one of them, they're the one that House really doesn't like, and the rest, and really picks on a lot. And you sort of have these different dynamics. There's the one that he ends up really respecting, begrudgingly.
But again, because he's such an asshole and can't actually, express love to to anyone.
Oh no, there's no fulfillment of any of these dynamics.
No.
It's just more in the way that he refers to the different interns.
I kind of like the idea that if you really, really stuff up one of the tests, like you get like a solo mission to go off and do some diagnosis in like the free clinic or whatever. So you basically
clinic
just,
time or whatever. Yeah,
you know, handing out Band-Aids and like asthma medication, just simple,
what that
simple
is,
little things like that.
I think it is a solo mission in a sense, but you have to be doing it while the rest of the game's still going on. It's like throughout the next mini game, you're going to have things popping up on your screen.
Yeah,
where you have to like do a quick little diagnosis and prescribe something.
Everyone else is sort of getting to do like the blood mini game, and you're having to do some quick analysis on kids with colds.
But I think you're still having to do the blood mini game if you want to compete. It's just you keep getting you keep also having to do the clinic time.
Yeah,
you're like having to juggle it back and forth. I'm not sure how well we'd get this working on an actual like web page style Jackbox thing. Maybe you'd end up needing a companion app.
I was thinking
really have it work
console.
natively. Well, yeah, again, that's just it ends up being just a web page with some JavaScript on it. You could do it okay, I guess. You could probably do it okay. You just have to, if you got a lot of like swiping and stuff, then you're maybe gonna run into some slight issues. But no, I like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
3, 2, 1, click.
Yeah.
That may be though the most on point licensed game we've ever made.
I know. Readable rushing.
Blanket float. Rushing could be rushing water of some kind.
Yep.
So maybe this is a game set during like a flood or like leading up to like a disaster movie, kind of like a disaster game sort of thing where there's a tsunami coming or something.
You're in this area of Australia that's just been hit by all these bushfires, and then this massive flood comes through. Now, where have I heard of that recently?
And somehow the government keeps denying climate change.
Who would have known?
I like the idea that either you're preparing for a disaster that you know is coming, or like has just struck. Oh, maybe it's almost maybe it's like a battle royale-ish sort of thing. But instead of, you all jump from the plane and then you go down and you scavenge, it's you've just been alerted that there's a tsunami coming. You have a certain amount of time to scavenge.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the game is you're like floating on whatever you manage to scavenge with whatever you manage to scavenge and put together, and slowly getting like, again, just to keep the game moving in the way that Battle Royale games do, slowly twirling towards the giant whirlpool in the center. And for whatever reason, you want to be the last one alive when you get there.
Well, it's almost like there's only one spot left on that helicopter. So, you've got to be the last one there. Otherwise,
yeah. But I like the idea of
the name of the game.
Then adding some mechanics, almost in a Fortnite-ish way of being able to build things. But the only supplies you've got are from the other people's rafts that you salvage after you kill them. And so it may be like if you're down to the final 2 people, they might have these huge constructed floating behemoths,
floating fortresses.
That they've put together from all the other people, and it's like that fucking scene in Pirates. Was it Pirates 2 or 3, where the ships are like fighting each other around the whirlpool or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I'm just imagining these huge floating fortresses of like books and blankets and those foam mattresses, not the so they're like the koala mattresses, not the spring ones,
Yeah, they're probably gonna. I mean, they'd still float, I think, but
only for a little while, and then the metal will drag it down after it got waterlogged. Whereas foam, shit, that shit'll float all day.
You just have to decide where it's best to use it. You might put the spring mattresses on the side as armor.
I kind of like the idea that you've got to actually go up and as you're picking things up, you've actually got to read like what it's made out of, so you know whether it's going to float or not.
Right. So actually give some physicality to what you're building. Do you have to
and
keep
also
it
to bring in my word of readable?
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
But I kind of like the idea. You don't necessarily have to have it as like text saying this. You can have like little icons, kind of like on a lot of clothes and that sort of stuff. You've got all the little washing icons.
To read the tag. Yeah. You've got the washing icons for everything that you're building out of. Yeah, I think there's a lot you could do there. I guess what sort of weapons are you going to have? Are you also constructing like makeshift weapons, do you think? Or do you just go, hey, this is America and there are tons of guns lying around? Because I'm just thinking like, how do you end up attacking the other ships? Or do you have some sort of crafting mechanic where it's like pretty unrealistic,
like
but
mechanic.
If you have like some sort of tube-like thing and then you can like craft it into a cannon or whatever.
Yeah, I do like the idea of like an absurdist crafting mechanic.
Yeah.
Of, a big stick and, a big inner tube turns into a cannon sort of thing. Or
Yeah, I think it just similar to like something how like Dead Rising, the later games works, or something like that, where you've got a bunch of different things that are tagged with sort of the type of thing they are.
Yeah.
And you just need the certain types mixed together, and then you can make whatever it is, and that's close enough to to realism that we bother getting, because I like the idea of like cannons, sniper rifles. It's mostly distance stuff, and then obviously you can like ram them and board them and have some close quarters combat as well.
I'm just imagining like you've got like a broom handle and some glass that you've just duct taped together, and that's like your spear now that you can keep them back a bit, and could be a lot of fun.
Because you could have like squad based stuff too. So you've got like 4 people on each raft / ship. So you can have, okay, these people swing across and board the other ship while the people on the other side man the cannons and, go full on naval warfare basically. But with these thrown together, self-constructed, floating things.
That's really cool.
All right.
3 quick.
This could take us somewhere, I don't know, but anyway, failing vegetable.
Unused extraction.
Okay. What vegetables are failing at what they are intended to do? What is a failed vegetable?
Brussels sprouts fail at being like edible.
I don't know. Mix them with some bacon, you got something good. But I guess that's just bacon for you. What is a vegetable that's failing, but also you extract something from it? I don't know. Or maybe this is just about like, how when you peel a peeled potato, you like extract sort of the eyes out of it and the bits that are like, you might like do little diggy bits, extract them out. Maybe this is like a beauty routine game for vegetables.
Every time we start talking about vegetables, I keep on thinking, oh crap, we're going to go back to Starch Wars, aren't we?
Well, that's why I was waiting so that I wasn't going to be the one who mentioned it. But yes, that's exactly what I thought when I saw vegetable.
Okay, so when I saw unused extraction, I was sort of thinking, okay, extraction in a way of like you're in the jungle and you need to get extracted from the jungle, sort of.
Yeah.
Thing.
Okay.
So I sort of
which I guess ties
like
into Starch Wars.
Yeah, I saw it more like a almost an Indiana Jones or Tomb Raider-y sort of story.
Okay.
In the fact that, like, at the very start, you're escaping the temple sort of thing, and you are unable to get to the extraction point because there was, like, snakes or something in the way. You've been a vegetable and you've been hurt. Your skin is gradually bruising and darkening, and basically you're now, effectively failing.
Yeah. I get that.
And so it's all about, kind of like if you remember the Batman games where they kept on adding new things to, like Arkham Asylum, where you got ripped in one cutscene, so therefore you always had that rip in the cape going forward, and you gradually got hurt.
Consistency, yeah, for sure. Okay.
I like the idea that
so
you've
all
been
right, so
either
we've got
a carrot or an apple.
We've got a new
like
character. Well, what happened at the end of our last Starch Wars things? Didn't we bring in the fruit?
Yeah, we did.
Well, who were the fruit? I've forgotten.
I think it was a pirate game, so.
Oh, okay. All right, we don't have to go down that road. I'm just thinking. All right, what? Okay, so let's think about what sort of vegetable is going to be some sort of adventurer like that. I feel like, are they kind of a normal? Well, I say normal, but like common style vegetable, or who's gone off to be a bit different, basically, or are they something already that's kind of a bit out there?
So I'm seeing it as it's actually a tomato who doesn't quite fit into the fruit family and doesn't quite fit into the vegetable family, because you'd never put a tomato in a fruit salad, but you also that a tomato is not a vegetable either, so he's sort of been ostracized from the fruit and vegetable world.
Yeah.
I can certainly see
they're non-binary.
Huh?
They're non-binary.
Yeah. I can certainly see
on the fruit vegetable binary
bruising,
we all know exists.
And like even a small little cut, you could have like all the juice and stuff coming out.
Sure, I imagine that sort of thing all the time about tomatoes. Okay, so you've got this tomato who has decided. So what are they looking for? Is there some? Is it evidence of whether they're? No, let's not go down that route. Is there some historical artifact then? Is it to do with the war between the different factions of vegetable and the fruits, or is it some sort of paranormal thing they're searching for? Like, who is this tomato?
So I'm sort of seeing that the tomato wants to find this artifact that'll actually settle the argument once and for all that the tomato is actually part of like the vegetable family.
Well, I don't know, especially if we're I've just introduced the fruit vegetable binary as like a gender allegory, so I don't know that I want to like try to have them need to do that one way or the other, which is why I kind of went in a different direction.
Okay, something about Deadly Nightshade then, because that's the sort of family that they're part of. Ooh.
Okay, so it's maybe...
I kind of like the idea that he's found out, like, that his family is from this long line of assassins.
Sure, okay, yes.
The Deadly Nightshade. And so he's looking for artifacts on that. Just trying to find out stuff about his family tree and all that sort of stuff. But the area that he's gone to has lots of mystical shit going on.
Yeah. Okay. So this tomato, they've grown up like being shunned from this world. This world of that has normalized being either a fruit or vegetable, and they have fit in neither. Mm-hmm. And then yes, they discover in an old book that their ancestors were these assassins, and were part of this Deadly Nightshade family.
Mm-hmm.
And so, well, maybe then instead of like tomb sort of stuff in the jungle, maybe this is more of a like going back to their ancestral home maybe it's like in the middle. Maybe it's like in the middle of the. I was going to say in the middle of the war zone or something, perhaps.
War zone between what?
The war that's been going on between the root vegetables and the leaf vegetables. I guess it depends when we're setting this, because I think we did resolve that in an uneasy truce.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
This could be in the past.
You know what it's actually against? It's the humans that came out of cryostasis, and the sentient vegetables.
Okay. Wait, is that something we established previously in the canon, or you're just coming up with it?
I'm just coming up with it now.
That's fine. I just couldn't remember. I can't keep track of this fucking sprawling world building that we've done over the past 100 and whatever episodes.
Yeah, well, given it was within the first 20 that Starch Wars started.
Yeah. Thank you, Brendan. 8-bit. Okay. So you're saying, well, does this tomato find these cryogenically frozen humans then and start the next phase of war because they wake them up?
Well, that could be the first thing that they do.
Yeah, like that happens in the first act.
Yeah. And then the rest of the game is them basically going against these Terminator-like enemies.
Are they android? Like, why are they Terminator-like?
Well, they look totally different, and you know they're out to just destroy the whole vegetable kind
by eating them.
Well, by eating them, by doing anything else that they sort of can.
Well, I like the idea though that they to the vegetables, these humans are giant, right? If we're going with true size.
Well, I think over the years that the vegetables have actually increased in size.
Oh, they've evolved to be sort of human-sized?
I'm thinking more like maybe half the size of like human.
Okay.
And so the sort of place that they're breaking into, with a deadly nightshade and all that sort of stuff. Like it's this old sort of futuristic-y cryostasis.
Okay, so
place in the I'm thinking in the middle of like an old human city that pretty much all the fruits and vegetables have refused to go to.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to think. Like, how much of the human world is left at this point? Like, is it all buried? Do they really know about it? Are these just cities that are sort of half-scale cities of sentient fruit, vegetables, and
well, I think we discussed early on, like even in Brendan's episode, where like this original war was like happening in an old garden, and the house was still sort of like falling apart and stuff.
Okay,
so the idea that they know that there was a group that lived on the Earth before them, and they were technologically advanced,
but they don't really know that much about them.
They don't know enough about them that they sort of try to stay away from the giant cities or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
But then I like the idea that
there's the occasional pair who's like, well, we have to learn more about these beings, and everyone just like shuts them down. They're not. They haven't quite embraced science and archaeology yet.
It's all religion to them.
Yeah, they're a very religious bunch. They're still in kind of the dark ages in some ways. Okay, so I think then this ancestral home of the tomato is built like on the ruins of an old human city.
Yeah.
And, I think we're still going quite, these civilizations had a couple of thousand years to like build itself up and kind of knock down most of the human stuff. So it is just ruins that are left a lot of the time. But basically, yes, they discover that there is a passageway from beneath this house into, old New York. Basically into the human house that this was built on top of, and it happened to belong to, it was like a science lab or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's just like 173 cryogenically frozen humans down there.
Yeah, including Walt Disney's head.
Yeah, 173.2. He had a big head. Well,
I don't know. I really like the idea of he accidentally, hits a switch that he thinks is like a light switch, and it starts the thawing process. And I can just imagine the first human that he comes across is sort of okay, but then like there's a big general sort of character who's wanting to take out all enemy combatants, and has like a faction of the majority of the humans that are going against other people.
Well, I guess what leads them to actually declare war then on these creatures, other than, I mean, I guess you could just go with xenophobia as the driving force, and that might be fine. But I don't know. If I was a human
and you saw, and
I woke up and there was a tomato that came up to my waist with like eyes and arms, I guess.
Yep.
An anthropomorphic tomato speaking
a totally different language that you don't understand, because there's no way that it's English.
I don't know that I'd just like try to attack it. I think I'd run. But maybe that's just, I'm more of a flight than fight kind of guy.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, well, we've got the roots of a story there.
Yep.
Do we, like, are you just thinking pretty classic, like, Tomb Raider gameplay from that point after you've established this whole thing and you're, like, this half-size tomato?
I'm thinking sort of
rolling and
along the lines of, it's a cover shooter without the shooting bits. So it's basically you're now under attack and you're trying to get out of the city. You've got an extraction point that you can't get to, obviously.
Yeah. And
so therefore you're just now making your way through. The
humans have an extraction point too, but that's because they want to extract all that delicious tomato juice out of you.
I can just imagine one of them has like this big juicer that
they've constructed.
They've constructed, and they go, I want to have my Bloody Mary. I've got the biggest headache.
I've been asleep for 1,500 years. I need my Bloody Mary. Find me some celery.
I really love the
all
idea
the celery starts running.
That the game is like called Bloody Mary or something like that.
Just leads up to that. Oh god! All right, I think 3, 2, 1, and what's the thing we do? Click.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Adventurous Squad.
Medieval pull. It's the Adventurous Squad. I like that. I like the idea that that's actually the name that they've given themselves. Yeah, they're not very creative.
Yeah. They're like, Secret 7, no, that's already taken. Famous 5, no. Adventurous Squad. There we go.
Yeah, we're a squad. We adventure. Adventurous Squad. Okay, along those lines then, are these teenagers?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Medieval teenagers.
Yeah, medieval Enid Blyton style crime-solving group of teens.
Yeah.
Hopefully less problematic than I assume Enid Blyton's books are, because it's been a long time since I've read them. But given the time period, I imagine they don't hold up.
From what I hear, some of the stories hold up, some of them don't. But anyway, anyway. So I'm thinking the Adventurous Squad is like 3 kids from the lower class.
3 kids. Their names are Dick, Fanny, and Butt. Just to go with the Enid Blyton way of naming children.
Yes. So I was saying that there were 3 kids from the lower society, and then 1 who's actually the prince in disguise.
Okay, I like that. Yeah,
yeah, because I like the idea of the prince and the pauper sort of idea, but you don't necessarily have to have the pauper take over the prince's role. It's more that the prince has escaped.
No, the prince has escaped. But unlike the trope that often occurs with this sort of thing, I think the prince is shithouse at doing whatever they need to do. Like, they don't know he's the prince, but he's, like, the worst one of them. He can't solve anything.
Yeah. So, I'm imagining, when I heard medieval and pull, I thought of, like, a clay pigeon sort of thing, where the king is, like, launching peasants out of, like, this...
Wait, peasants?
Yes. As in, pull!
So instead of clay pheasants, it's real-life peasants.
Yes. So he's basically, instead of executing them, via hanging or anything like that, he launches them off the tower with a trebuchet.
A trebuchet?
Well, supposedly it's supposed to actually be trebuchet.
Is it?
Because it's unlike, even though it's French, it's just the way it's actually supposed to actually be said.
Well, anyway, the whole point of me saying that was to make it a trebuchet, but anyway.
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay. And so I think then the prince is obviously like he's kind of a nice guy, as in he doesn't approve of this sort of behavior.
Oh, no.
So, all right, what's the mystery? Are they trying to bring down this king? Like, does the stakes go that high? Or do we start, with some more kind of low-stakes local mysteries to solve?
Some low-stakes local mysteries to solve?
I've lost my cat, and it turns out that the neighbour cooked it in a stew. Meat is meat.
Yep.
We're peasants. We're starving.
Yep.
This is not a good environment for us.
What I like is, like, maybe the third, like, it's two really, really low impact sort of cases, and then the third one is murder.
And then you go big.
The third one's murder, but it's your parents have been implicated in the murder, so it's now all about, like, you've got to
saving them from the
saving from the trebuchet.
The trebuchet. It's two dudes, one named Trevor, one named Chet.
The Trevor problem.
Okay.
Okay, so the sort of gameplay.
Yeah. Is this like a party-based RPG?
Oh, I was actually sort of thinking you could have those sort of moments, but you've also got, like, some moments in the middle there, where it's almost like a CSI scene. If you remember the CSI games where you had to, like, find the hotspots and...
Yeah, like missing object sort of scenes.
Yeah, but not doing, like, oh, you found a hose and...
No. It was to do with the case.
Yeah.
But you had to click on the right things that you'd find in the scene in the right order.
And then it could zoom in and you see...
Yeah. That's cool.
Like, I'm just imagining you go into the neighbour's house and you click on the pot and you just see, like, these whiskers, like, next to the pot, and you go, oh...
I'm saving them for later. They're the best bit.
If you put a whole heap together, they make a really good toothpick.
I'm building a toothbrush. Before I've got any... That's why I still got teeth left.
Oh. Now I'm just imagining, you uncover in the trash can, there's, like, the collar of the cat in the trash can. It's like, oh.
That trash can doubles as me toilet. After you searched it.
Oh, God. That is so wrong.
Okay, I like that, though, because you can have, like, the back and forth and the character building stuff going on as you explore these scenes. Like, if you click on something, one of the people might be the one who sort of responds about it, and there's a little bit of conversation and that sort of thing. Yeah, that's cool. And then they'd obviously have to be pretty simple, or not simple, but just, like, non-technologically advanced ways of solving these crimes. It's like deduction and stuff. Yeah, that's cool.
And it's all about finding the lies and the contradictions that the witnesses say, and
those games, the two games that I'm thinking of that you can read my mind about.
Phoenix Wright.
Yes.
Layton. Professor Layton.
No. The other one. No, the Rockstar one. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with my head? set in the 70s or whatever. Solving crimes.
Fucking
cold.
L.A. Noire.
L.A. Noire. Jesus. Complete blank. Yeah. Those two games. Phoenix Wright and L.A. Noire. Those are the ones I was thinking of.
So I love the idea that no one actually knows that the stupid one is the prince.
No. And they
just got
like
shit all over him.
Yeah. They do the worst stuff. Like, they make him do, the worst, like, literally shittiest things. Like, search that guy's trash can. And then, there's a reveal later on. And they're all apologetic and stuff. And he's like, no, what are you talking about? I love this. I've got a scat fetish.
We're the Adventure Squad. There has to be, like, a really, really dodgy theme song for them as well. Like...
Oh, yeah. One's playing the lute.
Yep. And end of each case, it's sort of like...
Squad. We solve adventures a lot.
One of them's a bard.
One of them is a bard. It's me. The other one is full of lard.
Okay, so what's the prince's name? We've already talked about Dick, Fanny, and Butt.
That wasn't serious. But, though, the others are fine because they're real names. Dick, Fanny, Bud, and Northrop. But somehow they never figure it out.
Or Winthrop.
Winthrop. Throw up. They just... he keeps... His name's Winthrop, and they just think he said, like, throw up. And that's a much more peasantish name to them. Throw up.
But then you see this like flashback to when they first met him. It was like, hello, my name is Prince Winthrop III. And they just immediately call him Throw Up.
Yeah.
Even though they've been introduced.
They've been introduced, but they were busy. All they did was throw up.
Okay, 3 to 1 click.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Orange.
I was going to say, before you actually say it...
Okay. I've only said half of it.
We're going to go into something that we talked about doing a little while ago.
Ooh. Okay.
Match 3 game.
Okay, so that's kind of the limit we're putting on ourselves this round. For those who kind of haven't listened in the past few weeks when we've talked about this, or who haven't played these types of games, there are a huge number of mobile match 3 games that have these really long and character-based story elements going through them at the same time. And basically, as you solve a particular match 3 board, you get like a star or a point or whatever, and that lets you progress the story and sort of generally clean up or improve a house or a garden or an island or whatever. We love the idea of bringing new narrative things into this genre. So,
now,
okay.
When you hear my second word, you'll understand why I want to do
why
this.
You went that. Okay.
Yeah. So you go first.
Orange television.
Ooh. Squashed Trek. Trek.
Okay.
So I'm seeing sci-fi.
Yes. I do like the idea of a sci-fi match 3 improvement game.
Yeah.
Do we just go like straight down the line and you are like salvaging an old starship?
Yeah. Yeah, and basically you're doing the match 3 games to get all your stars so that you can, first of all build the ship, and then you got to crew it, then you've got to then you go on missions. Well, because the thing is, all these match 3 games are free to play and they make money by you. They'll put up a deal to like get this many fucking coins or whatever so you can buy different things. They'll often have events where you go to a completely different area and you've got a certain amount of time to like either play as much as you need to or obviously like pay money to completely deck that area out and improve it all. That's an away mission. Exactly. But you can have in this game orange shirts.
Okay.
And they're the ones that, they keep on getting squashed or whatever it is that, I'm thinking that you've got this huge overarching narrative of these massive giant aliens that are just, squashing people
slowly
from
making their way across the galaxy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I like the idea that, if you don't react quick enough in these particular away missions.
Well, I think almost
you lose some of your crew.
If we're following a lot of the gameplay designs of these match 3 games, you'd almost have your orange shirt be a power, like one of the power ups that you can use on the match 3 board, and they're basically like a bomb or something. Like you sacrifice them to clear, a 4x4 square of bricks.
Yeah, so I'm liking the idea of being able to customize your starship, add new warp engines to it as you progress throughout the game.
Like, following these tropes, you'd go area by area. You'd probably start on the bridge, or maybe in engineering or whatever. You'd go to all those different areas and you'd play, approximately 50 to 70 match 3 boards to clear each area to get enough stars or whatever, enough pips.
Yeah, and I love the idea that, yes, you are still traveling during this thing. Basically, the first 30, 40 levels are getting your basic ship up. Yeah. And then to be able to move to different areas quicker. Yeah,
like into system areas, being able to travel further. And I mean, again, these stories are generally very linear. Yeah. You solve them. Sometimes you can just do one thing before you can do another thing, but like they don't affect anything. It's just which one you've done first.
Yeah, now, especially because I tried to get through one of the ones that you've talked about in the past. I started playing. Yeah, and I'm like, oh great, I've just finished this whole section. He goes, yeah, now we can go through here, but first we'll just finish this area off and get it looking all nice. I'm like, but no, I want to find out the next part of the story.
No. It's basically just a book that you get to read another paragraph by playing three match 3 games. But look, that's fine, and that's fun. And look, there is a little part of everyone's brain that I think that really appeals to, because you are slowly like improving this area and learning a little bit more about these characters, and you can just pretty much continue writing them forever. So yeah, it actually makes perfect sense for a Star Trek style serial thing that you can just do a whole new story and
especially because away missions can have individual story events that have to be done in a day or whatever it is. It's 30, 40 new levels that have to be completed to get this whole story out. And if you don't do it, you just don't teleport it away. Yeah. You don't get the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect. Yeah, we're gonna make $1 million. I feel like anyway. What I was gonna say though, I love this. Because I do again. I like the idea of putting these different narrative styles into these games, which I feel like hasn't been done enough. Can we think about whether we could make these things a bit more game-like and a bit less linear?
Okay.
Because the mechanics of them are very much, generally you can finish a match 3 board without needing any additional resources, but if you're having difficulty, you've earned an orange shirt, or you've earned a laser blast, which is going to do your whole line,
or you've earned a kill shot rather than using stun.
Yeah, exactly. You've earned the fucking matter transmogrifier, which clears all of a certain color. Yeah. And of course,
which is just teleport
real
buffer.
money for those things. There you go. Yeah, you've earned your technobabble. You fire off a technobabble and it gives you, what's the fucking use the deflector dish to bounce the pattern buffer of the transport stream, and it clears all your orange squares.
Yeah. Okay, so you wanted to gamify it.
Let's gamify this game. Yeah, I was thinking, I guess. Okay, one of it could be branching narrative.
Yeah. I do like the idea of a branching narrative.
And generally you probably, if they finish it, then they can have the option of going down the other branches, right? Let them have all the content that they want, but once at certain points they make a decision, and then for a while that's the branch they're going down, and you get different dialogue, you get different narrative stuff. The other thing was some sort of, well, I mean, for one, whether you bring in aspects of like puzzle quest sort of stuff, or which is its own genre now of like a more battle-based match 3.
Well, I don't see why you couldn't have those aspects in.
I guess you could just have
one part of the game, like
I guess you could just have some of the match 3 boards as the story goes along. Okay, now you play some battle ones, where instead of just trying to reach a certain goal of match this many blue squares, it's okay. You have the other person, you have an opponent who is also matching things and like building up
on the same board. Yeah,
on the same board. Yeah.
And so, if you want the orange shirt to sacrifice himself, you've got to those orange squares that you've been getting together to get 30 of, so that you can actually do something with. And
then you can fire them off. Yeah.
But the other group can just go, yep, no, I'll take those 5 orange squares so that you don't get the the full thing. That could be quite interesting. The tactics that you could actually put in place.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly.
I am liking the idea of like the Star Trek game up against these giant aliens that pretty much to us, we're like a foot high compared to they're 6 foot or whatever. But just in their scale.
Yeah.
Because really, every single alien that Star Trek ever came up against happened to be exactly the same size.
They all had about the same, standard deviation of heights, weights, facial features. Yeah, for sure.
Horrible.
No, these are like 5-legged, huge nostrils in their butts style aliens.
Yeah, and butts on their face. 3 to 1 click.
Okay. Shy height.
Witty cooling.
Is this a romance game about an HVAC engineer who works on apartment buildings?
I don't know. I'm putting almost shy and witty together, and height and cooling together.
Yeah,
to get like.
Yeah.
It's almost like a fly on the wall sort of game, in my mind, of which your height and cooling is actually like a ceiling fan. So you're playing from like the view of the ceiling fan. And
God,
you've got
that's going to make you sick.
Well, I'm picturing
when they turn it on.
I'm picturing that you're in the center of the part that doesn't actually spin.
Are you literally a fly?
Well, what I was actually thinking is, at first you think that you may actually just be the ceiling camera. Not the ceiling cameras, the ceiling fan, but you're actually a hidden spy camera on the ceiling fan, and you're actually, a person in the next room trying to organize for these people to actually connect together. This shy person and this witty person.
So you're a stalker who's taken a vested interest in their relationship. No, why are you looking through a spy camera? Who are you?
Because you're a spy, obviously.
Is it like the parents of teenagers or something?
Why would they want these two to get together?
I don't know. They're weird parents. Maybe he's really rich. Or she is. Mm-hmm. And they want him to marry into money. All right, never mind about why they're doing it. How do they do it? What are the actions that you are taking to change things in this world?
I think what you can actually do is you can essentially control some of the electronics in the area.
Okay.
Because, you can basically turn the ceiling fan on. You can make lights come on. You can turn the printer on at the inopportune time, and a few things like that. Like, effectively, you're trying to get this person to have a meet cute with this other person.
Okay, I feel like we've tried these sorts of games before.
I know.
It's just there's always such a limited number of things you can do from just sort of turning things on in the environment.
Mm-hmm.
So
we can click again if you want something better for the final game of tonight.
Well, I'm just going to say, to spice it up, does it, like, do we pivot from this quirky, stalkery relationship drama meet cute
/ NSA agent, yep.
Does it turn out that he was a zombie or had recently been bitten by a zombie? And now you're having to switch between these video cameras and you are feeling very useless because turning the printer on is not stopping the zombie horde. You're like trying to find someone. You're hacking between all these cameras to try to find someone to tell so you can just print out like zombies coming. And they just think it's a prank every time. And then you just see the zombies like bust through the wall and turn them.
And then it starts all over again. And
yeah,
it's
like the
Groundhog Day.
ever-increasing ranks of the undead. I'm not sure if there's I don't know if you eventually find like an automated turret or something that you can actually affect the world in some meaningful way. But
oh god!
All right,
click again.
At least that's
let's
better
get
to end it on.
Let's get a better final game.
All right, I thought I turned it around pretty well, but okay. Teenage supervisor.
Wizard socks.
Wizard socks. Yes. Fuck teenage supervisor. Let's just go with wizard socks. Okay, no, like a 19-year-old manager of an electronics store.
Yep.
Or no, of a Target, right? Of a clothes store. Finds
100%.
buried in the corner of an old storage box in the back room. This pair of socks.
Yep.
With like, they're bright blue with yellow stars on them.
Yeah.
And what else do you do when you find fucking awesome socks like that in a back room?
You make sock puppets.
You make sock puppets. And all of a sudden, his hands turn into feet. What's going on?
No, okay. I really like this idea of this kid who's, just being transferred to this, like, I'm thinking Midwestern sort of town.
Midwestern America.
Yeah. Just, it's a small town.
Suburban kind of, yep.
Maybe
smallish town. There's one big mall.
And basically your first thing that you decide to do is go clear out the stockroom because you can tell that thing is just overrun. And this is just
you've
the
just
start
been
of the game,
promoted to assistant manager, and you're trying to make, or you want to be promoted to assistant manager, and so you're trying to make a good impression. You're like, okay, I'm going to take the initiative. I'm going to clean out this fucking mess of a stockroom. There's all these, out of fashion clothes.
Yep.
That have been sitting back here for decades. You get to try some of them on as you go through.
And what I like is just before you find the wizard socks, you step in like the bucket of water so that your shoes and socks are totally
you're mopping
ruined.
as you go. Yeah. Yeah. So you're bare feet.
And so you see these awesome blue and yellow star socks, and it's like, yes, they are
you
awesome.
put them on.
You put them on.
You're like, did they glow? Nah, it must be my imagination.
And from then on, you've got basic magic powers.
Okay, so is this what it gives you? Like, is this? Do you realize immediately, or is this something where you accidentally?
I think
do
it's
some magic
throughout the game as you go to like stock the shelves or something like that. You turn around and as you turn back with a couple of items, the whole shelves are just full.
They're stocked.
Yeah.
Okay. So you spend about 40 hours of this game using magic powers to stock shelves.
Yes.
Just to build your levels. You're now a level 4. You're now a level 51
stars so that you can get the next part of the narrative.
You're now a level 1 shelf wizard, level 41 shelf wizard, and it's time for the next phase. Okay, what sort of game are we thinking here? Because the first thing I was picturing, a very narrative style. I guess we go down this route a lot, but like Uncharted-esque, where you're controlling the character third person for a bit, and it it goes into, in nicely rendered in engine cutscenes at appropriate moments, which is sort of the standard for, AAA action adventure-ish sort of games at this point.
Yep.
When you start controlling for real, like when sort of the gameplay starts for real, what are you doing? Is it a bit more of maybe like a Life is Strange sort of dealy?
Yeah. I like a Life is Strange sort of dealy that you're using your at first mundane powers just to
help people or help
people out, and obviously you can't let on to anyone that you've actually got magic powers, because I think what happens early on is you get this image of what would happen if anyone found out, and it's basically, the government comes in, takes you away, and dissects you.
Do you have a vision of what happened to the last person to wear these socks?
Yeah, I think so.
It was like in the 70s, and yeah, they were taken away, dissected. Yeah. But first you see them, they're like, all right, get all the clothes off, we need to dissect this body, and you just see the wizard socks like fly across the room.
Oh god. So I like the idea that you're trying to solve these simple puzzles and help these people out just by, doing a little bit of telekinesis and
we got to give them like full, hold down the button, pick things up, move them around.
Oh yeah, it's basically force powers.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so what is the big bad of the game? Because obviously there's got to be a larger part of the narrative.
Yeah, there's the girl who always picks on you at school. You're like in your senior year of high school or something, right? Like your final year of high school. And there's the popular girl. Yeah, well, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, whatever about the fucking popularity ranking, but she always picks on you. She's a bit of a bully.
Yep.
And then you think, all right, it's finally time. I've got fucking wizard powers. I'm going to get back at her. And you go to do that, and then she like turns around, and you realize she's got socks on as well. And they're like black with red moons.
Yeah.
And she's also found a pair of magical socks.
So, are these actually devil socks? Is what I
think they're just like, without going kind of religious about it, I think they're just like dark side wizard socks.
I was sort of thinking almost along the lines of, demonic sort of stuff.
Wherever
basically summoning
and
that
get their power from. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Or necromantic.
And then you get to have like a big fucking wizard battle in like the cafeteria. Just like
that could be cool.
Avada Kedavra everywhere. Kill all these kids.
But then that's when you find out that she's actually necromancer and she brings all these dead
then
kids
there's just
back.
an army of... This is another army of the undead tonight. But this time they're teenagers.
Exactly.
And they're going to fucking rip you to shreds. Just like teenagers do. Those little shits.
I love wizard socks.
Cool.
The different places that you could go with that is
cool. You could take that in a lot of different directions. I like the general, very innocent beginning and wondrous kind of thing of, oh my god, I found magic socks. That's all you need really in life. It's magic socks.
Yep.
Good pair of magic socks.
Cool.
All right. I think we're going to finish it up there tonight. If you want to find us online, go to podchaser.com/bitstorm. All one word. All that stuff's there. Check it out. We're also part of the 8-Bit Collective, a group of podcasts, now including a few extras like our good friends at the Inconsolables, and a couple of new, really awesome sounding actual play role-playing games, not just D&D. They're using some other systems there too, I believe. Lots of cool stuff coming, so go and check out 8bit.net.
There's a game show coming out that I'm hoping to be part of.
Show, yes. I'm sure we can finagle our way onto some of these shows, so look out for us there.
Yes. We'd also like it if you could check out the Australasian Gaming Podcast Network, a group of like-minded individuals who just want to help each other promote their podcasts and talk about all things gaming. So check out the Australasian Gaming Podcast Network on Facebook or at AGP Network on Twitter. Finally, we'd like to thank Kurudust for the use of the song Mount Defiance of the album Containment Failure. Had a mind blank there.
Yep. It's the night for it.
Yep.
So, again, thank you for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
And I got me some wizard socks. Wizard socks.